All right, and welcome back, everyone, to False Count Radio, the interviews. This is number 6, I believe, and I'm really excited because we have on the show today one of the most promising up and comers, someone that you didn't even know that you needed to see. Perhaps we have the Spark, Jada Stone. How are you doing tonight, Jada?
Oh my God, I'm doing so well.
I saw you waving me off there on that little introduction there.
Yeah, it was the period sign. Like, yes.
So thanks so much for coming on the show, and hope everything's going well for you.
Couldn't complain. Can't complain.
There you go. Um, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. First of all, did you grow up a wrestling fan? And if so, who were some of your favorites?
I did grow up a wrestling fan, and I mean, obviously John Cena because I mean, come on now. I love Roman Reigns. Nikki Bella was my favorite when I first started watching. So the Bella twins and AJ Lee, Paige, John Cena, Roman Reigns, they're all great.
So about what year did you start watching? You said the Bella Twins were your favorite when you started, so I would
Yeah,
assume like late 2000s.
yeah. I was about to say 2013, 2014.
Okay. Was this as you were growing up and you were watching? Was getting into wrestling kind of like a dream of yours, or was it just one of those things where sort of the opportunities presented itself?
Yeah, no. As soon as I laid my eyes on wrestling, I literally was like, "Yep, I'm going to become a wrestler," and here I am.
I had something similar, and then I got in a ring for one day of training, and I'm like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, you're like, no,
But
it hurts so
let,
much.
let me just talk to the wrestlers.
Hey, honestly, everything makes the business, so
Yeah.
you don't have to wrestle to
So,
win it.
did your family support you getting into wrestling? I know you've only been in the business for about a year, just a little over a year now.
They did not. They did not support it at first because I guess they did not want to see the little girl getting hurt and all this other stuff. But they didn't support it. But I think they realized that like I wasn't gonna change my mind and like I wasn't gonna outgrow it, so they had to just hop on board. But now they're like my biggest supporters. So
I was going to say yes, and now if it's starting to see you out there and doing your thing, I'm sure it would change their tune on that a little bit.
oh yeah.
Who trained you?
Um so I actually have a couple of trainers, but I originally started at PWA, which is in Columbia, South Carolina. Or yeah, Columbia, South Carolina. And I was trained by Ethan Case and Cody Fluffman. I think they still wrestle, so go tune into them. They're still doing great things over there. Um, and then I went over to LeBron Cozone at Firestar in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's amazing at what he does, and he cheat like his brain on chaining is amazing. And I wasn't taught that at my previous wrestling school, but now I am training at Action Packed Wrestling with Rob Killjoy and James Drake. And I'm also at OVW with Al Snow and Doug Basham. So I'm really like all over the place. Like I really just like to learn from many different brains because that's how you can decide which style of wrestling fits you best.
Yeah, it definitely sounds nice that you're getting that different input from different people who might have the different experiences. And the name that most fans will know would be obviously Al Snow and Doug Basham. So, what kind of things have you learned from honestly some legends there and Al and Doug?
Dude, Al and Doug is so they're so smart at what they do. Like I remember going there. My first time going to OVW was in January, and I was so nervous, and I was just like fangirling over like Al Snow and Doug. But as I got to be there, it was like no, like they're literally like family. And, like I call Al Snow my dad, and I literally talk to him all the time on the phone, and it's just amazing that legends are actually coaching me now. Like
Right.
I just listen. I just love to listen and learn, and basically, if you do what they say and actually apply the corrections that they tell you to, you're in there good. But definitely I feel like if I have not been at OVW, like I would not be where I'm at right now within the wrestling world.
I've interviewed a few people recently who have gone through or spent a significant amount of time in OVW. It doesn't seem like anyone except Mick Foley and Jest has a bad thing to say about Al Snow.
Yeah, no, Al Snow is great. He's
Yeah.
amazing.
You mentioned there's all in the places that you've trained with Firestar, and that was where your first match was just about a year ago. That was
Yeah.
with Amira and Olivia Devine. What are some of your memories of that match?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that was so long ago. But I remember being so nervous and like just wanting to like prove that I deserve to be here because I was just scared. I was just a scary little girl. And I was just like, okay, I hope this goes good. I hope I don't embarrass myself. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I don't remember a whole lot just because I was so in my head. And that is one thing that I wish that I was never like always in your head. Because when you're in your head, it's like it's hard to like have fun. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, wrestling should be fun. But I was so nervous. But it turned out decent. So could have been way worse.
How big of a crowd was that? Do you remember?
Um, it was a good bit. Like 40.
Okay.
So that was, big for me for my like first like real match. So I think that was in like December. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was December.
Yeah, I remember one of the interviews I did about a year and a half ago was with Lady Frost, and her first match was on Raw against Asuka.
I love Lady Frost. She's so good. Like I take a lot of my like way I move in the ring from her, which is crazy.
Really? Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I think she's great, and it's really good to see her career kind of blossom over the last couple of years because she put the work in and she deserves it.
I love her. Amazing, wonderful.
We spoke about OVW a moment ago, and that's sort of become almost like your home promotion, where you've had probably the majority of your matches. But the second match you did was for OVW. You were in a 20-woman battle royal for their Saturday night special pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
That was a 20-woman battle royal that included, among others, friends of the show Charlie Cruel and Haley Shadows, won by Angelina Love. Being so different from your first match and also with a larger crowd, what's the preparation like for that, especially with so many diverse talents?
I remember being so nervous because, like I said, I was already in my head because of like Al Snow and like for all these, and like being in the ring with Angelina Love too. It's like, wait, what? Like, why? No, why? But also it's just because like I didn't really know anybody then, so it was like I was kind of just like the shy little girl in the corner. But Rumbles are just like you just try to eliminate. So I feel like they're really easier than a singles match just because you have to go in there, dominate, and try to flip them over the rope. And hopefully you don't get flipped over the rope. So yeah, it was I was not as in my head as my first match for sure. Just because there were so many women in the ring and like there were so many women that are willing to help. So if you're in the ring with people who are willing to help, it's 10 times better. So
Yep. And that, like I said, that was on pay-per-view. Is there any kind of mental preparation in that, especially with your first match, like you said, being in front of 40 people, and the second one being not only the crowd there, but people actually watching and paying for the privilege to watch it?
No, really, I just try to stay as calm as I can and make sure that I get my camera angles in so like people at home can see like who I am, because I feel like that was my first real time where like people can actually be like, oh, this is Jada Stone, because I was on Fight TV. So like that was the moment where I really started making a name for myself, and just camera angles, making sure your stuff looks good on camera. So
It's not just Jada Stone; it's the Jada Stone,
come on now,
the one and only. And you just mentioned that being on Fight, and just to let everyone listening and watching know, if it's not on your local cable network, OVW is available on Fight. So come on, you got a long weekend coming up. We got a holiday. Go through some back episodes and watch some Jada Stone matches.
Come on now.
Now, your most recent match, it was a mixed tag. You teamed with Chad Skywalker to take on Ashley Dumbois and Richard King. Do you prefer tags or singles, and why?
I prefer both for like different reasons, but I guess if I had to pick one, probably singles, just because I can like showcase like who I am more. But tags, it's so fun getting to watch your partner and grow from your partner and grow from your opponents and just cheer your partner on because it's like, yay, you got it, come on, like that.
Right.
So
And I feel like for someone like you too, who, I believe you have 15 matches under your belt at this point. The more tag matches you're in, the more people in the ring that you can kind of learn from as you're going in a match.
for sure, yeah. Yeah.
Who is your favorite opponent today?
I love facing Ari Alexander. She's at OVW too.
Why? What do you love about being in the ring with her?
It's just the chemistry. Like sometimes you have chemistry with people, sometimes you don't. And for some reason, me and her always put on really good matches. It's just never. They're always on dark, and I'm so mad because like we always put on good matches, and like she's very strong, so she can lift me. I base for her. We just do cool stuff that you wouldn't expect like two females like our size to be doing with each other. And just her brain and the way she puts matches together are just amazing. And she lets you get your stuff in. You know what I'm saying? She's not that person to just shut down all ideas you have just because you're green. So
I think for me, just like as a fan watching, like if I hear a story about somebody who doesn't let other people get their things in, like if I watch that match, it's like it really doesn't seem to be that. I'm like that's why that match didn't look to be that great to me, because it seemed like, and now like because that kind of stuff might be going on.
yeah, and sometimes like you don't need to get your stuff in, but at times it's like you can get at least one thing in, you know. So it's good just like to not be scared of your opponent too, because I feel like that's what a lot of green people run into. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna be quiet and shut my mouth. And yeah, like that's good. But like when you have a person who's like, what do you want to do? It's like, oh my God, you actually care about me.
Right.
Then, you know, so it's just easier and you have more fun.
Do you get intimidated when you work with someone for the first time who's had a lot more experience than you?
I do. I get so nervous and I'm like, oh my God, like what do I do? Why am I facing you? You're so good. But yeah.
Speaking of that, like one of your more common opponents is Ella Envy. She's currently seen regularly on NWA as one F of their tag team champions. Also, Haley J. I think you've both wrestled each of them 4 times.
Oh my God, I always wrestle her. She's a cheater.
Well, you'll get that. You get the one up on that dirty cheater sometimes. Now, both these women have different styles, but if you could like compare and contrast the different styles between the two and how you prepare for them.
Ella Envy. Well, Haley's actually a face now, so I kind of like wrestling her a little bit better now. But when they were both heels, Ella's more like she throws kicks. She throws a lot of kicks, and she talks a lot. And her talking just like gets in your head because it's like, girl, like stop talking, like let me wrestle. Because I remember, like before we started, I'm actually talking for like 5 minutes. I'm like, girl, I just want to wrestle you. Haley, she talks a lot too, but she does dirty stuff like when the refs aren't watching, like with her socks, her socks of rocks. Yeah, she pulls out weapons, but I don't know. They're really the same because Ella, it wasn't aired, but Ella literally took her title and fucking freaking hit me with it, and so they really both do the same. They cheat, but Ella, she does more kicks, and Haley, she loves doing suplexes, body slam, suplex. And I'm like, girl, put me down. And then she likes flexing and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're not even that strong. You're just lucky I'm tinier than you. But
You don't have to censor yourself, by the way.
okay, cool. I was like,
I caught that. So yeah.
yeah, but no, they're kind of the same. But really, when I like go against them, I'm just like, okay, how can they cheat this time? And I try to go around it. Honestly, I have to try to outsmart them because for some reason they love getting weapons involved.
Eventually, you might just have to beat them at their own game.
Literally, that's what I'm trying to do. I haven't learned it yet, but I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn it.
Well, like you said, you're only a year in. You'll get there.
Yeah, one of these days.
As I mentioned earlier, you've done some mixed intergender matches. How do you feel about doing those, and and are there any additional challenges that go along with that?
Actually, I love mixed tags. Just because I love getting to work men. Just because you get to do stuff with them that you don't do with females, just because of their strength, really, and cooler stuff that I can do. Because like they can just base for me easier than some girls can, obviously, just because they're bigger. Um, but no, I love working men and being in mixed tag. Like that match I had at Battle Slam was probably one of the easiest matches that I had. And just like their psychology is different too. And it's good to like put two amazing brains like together, and then obviously with the other two as well. So just having four powerful brains,
Yeah,
it's just like
especially with the styles that a men's match has that a woman's match might not. So,
literally.
and you haven't done any singles intergender matches. Is that something you're open to?
I actually have.
Oh, you have.
Yeah, I have. I just don't think they're on YouTube, or I haven't really posted about them. But yeah, I got one coming up this weekend actually. So be on the lookout. But yeah, I've been doing them recently. Like I faced Maurice Moss. He's really good. Faced what is that tag team called? The Heart Killers. Um, And then I'm facing Jay Malachi this weekend, and I'm so excited for that. So yeah, I'm just wrestling the men too. That's how we get better.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's my next thing. This Saturday, you will be appearing for PWA's Let's Start a Riot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
taking place at Fairfield County Fairgrounds in Lancaster, Ohio. The
Yeah.
bell time is 7 p.m. Tickets are available now at pwaohio.com, local rent-to-own outlets, or at the door. So that match definitely is sure to be a real banger. What can fans expect to see at this event?
Well, actually, I lied. So the match that I face Jay Malachi is next weekend, but this
Brittany
Saturday,
Jade, that's what I have that here actually.
yeah, Brittany Jade, I face her this weekend, and she's actually my tag partner. So I know her very well, and so it's like, I respect you, you respect me, but who's gonna get the upper hand is gonna be me because I'm a little bit better. But I still love you, Brittany. I still love you, but I just got to beat you just because I know you more than you know yourself.
So if they're in the Lancaster area, definitely don't want to miss that.
Yeah,
I was looking at the card as I was preparing everything, and it looks like a great show. It's just a shame that I'm all the way down here in Virginia.
yeah.
Um, Now, past or present, like anyone from the past or present, who would your dream match be with?
Sasha Banks or Bailey for sure, hands down.
I feel like that's the answer I get most often with that question. Is one of
Literally.
them.
Or Naomi or Bianca Belair. Give me any four of those, and I would be happy for life.
I'm a huge fan of what Bianca's doing right now.
So good, so strong, so amazing. She's the EST, literally.
For sure, definitely. Um, Now, what is something about you that those in your closest inner circle would be surprised to learn about you?
Um, that I'm not as confident as I look sometimes.
I think over the course of us talking tonight, you've kind of said that a couple of times. So yeah, but I can say that coming off in your matches, it doesn't you don't show it outwardly. So,
Literally, people say that all the time, and I'm like, really? I love that, but no. Yeah, I'm a scary cat. That is one thing I wish that I could change about myself. Not being so scared. So,
yeah, I think we all have a little bit of that in us.
especially if you want to be good at what you do when you're passionate, it's just hard not to like doubt yourself all the time.
Right. I'm in the corporate world, but I experience the same things. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to screw anything up, and so I'm in
Literally,
the exact same way.
I don't want people to hate me.
Over this past summer, you even made an appearance on Impact at a taping against Tiffany Neves.
Yeah.
What is that experience like?
Again, I was so nervous just being in the locker room with all the amazing women. But it was cool. Like they made me feel like at home, and it was just cool. Like getting to pick Gail Kim's brain and seeing her put our match together, and just like being backstage, like with the TVs and everything. And it's like, whoo, this is what I want to do. So I'm glad that I got a little sneak peek of it, and hopefully I'll be back.
This is an experience I'm really curious about hearing about because most of the people that I speak to do the shots on like AEW Dark and shows like that, but none of them really had done a lot of Impact shots.
Yeah.
So, but that actually wasn't the first time you worked with Tiffany. With that, those nerves and everything, did having worked with her in the past help to even out the comfortability and the national/international stage that you were on for that evening?
Yeah, I mean, I already knew who she was, so it was kind of like I kind of already know what she does, um, and we made it work for what we had. So
And as far as like specifically, not just for your bookings, but especially the Impact, how do you get contacted for that?
I'm not even gonna lie, Al Snow. Al Snow helped me get on it. That's why I said, be good with people who's good for you because they'll help you in the long run. So thank you,
Is that one of those things where Al just like out of the blue kind of called someone, or like did Impact call and say, hey, we need someone to do? Do you have any suggestions?
I'm pretty sure whenever they're in Louisville, we always go out there. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they said like, "Hey, we need 2 people," and Al Snow was like Jada. So
That's good. That's good that you're one of the first people that he thought of too.
I know I love him. I love Al.
I know I certainly don't have the clout of an Al Snow, but I know there's a lot of promoters that do ask me, if I know anybody whom I've made contacts with over the years.
Yeah,
So I always throw the names of people who are good enough to come on here. So,
literally.
um, do you have any crazy or funny/unexpected stories of anything that happened at a show, in a match, or backstage?
Oh my god, I can't even think on the spot like that. But I think funny, like I tripped in the ring like in front of everybody, and I was like, ooh, sorry, guys, embarrassing. Or like tripping when you're like running out and shaking people's hands is so embarrassing.
I remember seeing the one from like the '90s where Shawn Michaels was slapping hands while during coming to the ring, and someone jumped on the guardrail and knocked the whole thing down.
Yeah, stuff like that, man. It's crazy stuff. The locker rooms are always fun, though. I can't think of one story.
Is there anyone that if you find out you're going to be in a locker room with them for a show, you're like, yes, I need to get there early. I can't wait.
Um,
Either because you could pick their brain or you could just have fun shooting the shit with them or anything like that.
yeah. Like I've been in the locker room with Julia Hart and Abaddon and um, Emanata, um, and yeah, probably oh no, Speedball, Mike Bailey. Him, I was in the locker room with him this past weekend, and I was like, oh my god, like you're so good. And he was just talking to me, and I was like, me? And same thing with Julia. Yeah, I definitely have those moments sometimes. So
Speaking of Mike and Julia, coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll be appearing at Wrestlecade in Winston-Salem.
and I'm so excited because I'm so excited to see Athena, aka Ember Moon, because I'm always a big fan of hers too. And Lady Frost. I love Lady Frost. I'm gonna be fangirling the whole weekend. And I met Julia Hart. We literally just were talking. Like she just sat next to me, and I'm like, why are you sitting next to me? Like what? But no, literally, and that was at Battle Slam too. So I want to say like 2 weeks ago.
Have you ever? I know you're generally in the area. Have you ever been to WrestleCade before?
I have not. Like
it's awesome.
Yeah, my wrestling school, we just didn't go. So like my first Wrestlecade, I'm going to be on, and I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I go every year. So it is really the ultimate fan fest because you have all weekend, you have tons of shows, and they're adding so much more to it this year with like live podcasts and things like that. I didn't make the cut, but that's okay. I didn't try. But you'll be appearing not just for the signings and everything. Make sure you find her, like I'm going to do.
Yay!
But you'll actually be appearing at Ladies Night Out on Sunday, which is November 27th at 1 o'clock. Last year was the first time that Ladies Night Out was part of Wrestlecade.
Okay.
And it certainly didn't disappoint last year. But also appearing on Ladies Night Out were some of the names that we just mentioned. Lady Frost should be taking on Vipers. Kylan King, Julia Hart will be taking on someone else that you know pretty well, Dream Girl Ellie.
Dream Girl Ellie. I love Ellie.
Yep. And so this will be your, like I said, this will be your first time appearing at Wrestlecade. And from what you just said, it's your first time going. So what can we expect? What can we, meaning the royal we, but also me, expect to see from you at this event?
Hey, I mean, you're just gonna have to see why everybody calls me the Spark, because I feel like a lot of people don't know my name. But if you come to Wrestlecade, you can see why everybody calls me the Spark and why I'm not like anybody else who you just named. So, and I'm just so excited to be there. I'm just, I bring the energy, I bring the fun. So just come see me and say hey.
Yep. And there's 3 days of it. So they're Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep. And I'll be there all 3 days. Honestly, you'll probably see me standing right next to you watching the show, because that's what I love to do. I love watching wrestling. So you'll probably just see me standing. And if you see me standing, come take pictures and let's say hey.
The first year that I went, one of the big guests for that was the Great Muta. And I didn't get in his line or anything, but I was it wasn't a ladies' night out, but it was another all-women show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting in the crowd, and I look over, and I didn't pay attention, and it was dark, and there was like a guy that sat across the aisle from me, and it was a Japanese guy. And I was like, oh, I didn't think anything. And then in between matches, I look over, I'm like, holy shit, the Great Muta's sitting right across from me.
Yeah. People are just sitting right next to you, because there's so many people. So it's not like you're going to be like, okay. It's so many people. So it's like you could be standing next to a legend, or a legend in the making, or a legend in the making.
One of my ultimate fan moments was a little over a decade ago. I became friendly with a promoter in the area, and he was running a show that DDP was working on. So he asked me to drive DDP to the show. I'm sorry, this is a long-winded story. But so I thought I was driving DDP to the show, watching the show, driving him back. I didn't realize that DDP expected me to be like his assistant for the day, which meant at the signing, taking his money, going to get the money from the promoter. And then as the show started, I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to go out and watch the show now. Just text me if you need anything. And he's like, no, I might need something out of your car. So stay back here, watch the show. And there's a monitor here, so you can watch the show on that. I said, whatever you need. And there were a couple other fans kind of flitting around. So I was sitting there watching a match, and somebody during that match sits down and sitting next to me, and he's like, well, he should have done a hip toss here, whatever he said. Right. And I was thinking like, oh, man, it's some other fan. They know everything. Yeah. I look over, it's Terry Funk.
Yeah, we listen to him.
I'm like, in the grand scheme of things for this, I'm a nobody, and Terry Funk is breaking down a match to me.
You should have done a hip toss right there. Okay?
Right. So do you have a favorite match so far?
My favorite match has to be with MJ Jenkins, and that was at Joseph Wrestling. So far, that was probably one of my funnest matches. But also, my match with Ella Envy at PWF I like that match too.
What made those matches so fun?
MJ, just like being in the ring with like somebody who's made it, because she was on NXT, and Ella, she's just a local talent, but the way she makes you look good, because how mean she is means a lot. Because some heels can't really get the baby face over, but if you have a really good heel, it's easier to get the baby face over. And Ella lets me do my cool stuff, and MJ Jenkins, she's just a really, really good base, and it's just easy to work with her in the ring. So
I've not seen a lot of MJ, but I really enjoy what we see of Ella on NWA, And
Yeah.
especially now more because up until recently she was sort of like I guess what you call a tweener,
Hmm.
but she's actually kind of like doing the heel persona now, and it
Yeah.
definitely seems to suit her. I really enjoy what she's doing in that team.
So mean.
Now you recently have gotten some new apparel for sale, and how can fans purchase this awesome gear?
Yeah, so I literally just ordered some new shirts too for Wrestlecade, and I just put my 8x10s up for Wrestlecade just because Wrestlecade is coming up, and I hope to sell some stuff.
It's 2
But I
weeks.
got stickers, I got some shirts, I got 8x10s, I got some bandanas that I wear out to the ring, and new stuff will be coming in soon. But honestly, you can just DM me if you need me to ship out, or you could just find me at a wrestling show and come get it then because I always have my merch tables. Like,
Like she said, she'll be at Wrestlecade. So again, fans, it's the ultimate fan experience. You could be there with over 100 of your favorite superstars, and maybe some that aren't quite your favorite.
I mean, come on now. I plan to be your favorite though.
Well, yeah, of course.
One of the
What
favorites.
What are you nuts? I say when I get to the signing, you're the first one I'm looking for.
I mean, come on now. Are you there all 3 days?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I drive down from Virginia. I gotta stay, otherwise it's not worth my time.
that is true. Very true. We got Emily J coming down from Virginia too. So
Yep. I've emailed a couple times trying to get her on the show, but no avail yet.
I'm gonna call her and be like, "Come on now."
I send so many emails out too that maybe they get kind of. I was last year at Wrestlecade. I was talking to Mercedes Martinez, who actually told me she listens to the show, and said she gets so many hundreds of emails a day that those things kind of just fall through the wayside sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, Now, do you have anything you'd like to say to your current fans and the fans who are yet to find you, especially after watching this incredible interview?
I mean, not really. I mean, to the people who know me, thank you so much for supporting me in my first year, and I just can't wait to see what happens in year two. And just make sure that life is hard, but keep pushing, keep being the spark. Find someone to love on, find somebody you can be the spark for. Because if you're that spark, you're that positive energy that everybody needs a positive light in their life, and that's really what I try to be for you guys. So project that on other people, and then like for my new fans wanting to support me, please support me. I'm all about the motivation and staying happy and staying great. And I really try to be different and not like your normal female wrestlers you see on TV every day. So maybe you'll like me and you should just come take pictures with me because I love meeting new people.
I
So
mean, how
thank
could you
you.
not? How could you not like you?
I don't know.
And to support her, you can follow her on social media. Follow her on Twitter at Jada Stone with 3 E's, Instagram at Jada.Stone, also with 3 E's.
Yeah.
And anyone looking to book Jada, you can do so by emailing her at bookjadastonepro with one
Yeah.
E at gmail.com.
And I
About,
really picked three just because three is my favorite number. A lot of people are like, why 3 E's? Honestly, just because it's my favorite number.
there probably also was most likely another Jada Stone because it seems like
Probably.
it's probably a relatively common name.
Probably. But yeah.
Did I miss anything? Is there anything else to promote there?
No, just be the spark.
Yep. All right. Well, I definitely want to thank you for coming on,
Thank
and this has been incredible. And look forward to watching your career progress.
Thank you so much, and come see me at Wrestlecade.
Yeah, um, I'll be the one standing next to you watching matches with you.
I mean, come
So,
on. Okay, yay! Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
On that note, we'll talk to everyone next time.